Lock the door on him. Lock the door on him. Hood postman. Hood postman. Reporting live. Reporting live. This the hood postman, come and check the program. You ain't from the streets, this is something you should know, man. Running from police, gotta grip the wheel with both hands. Speeding down the interstate, please do not approach him. 40s in the fridge, got the caddy in the driveway. Get all out of my face, I don't wanna violate. Looked up in the mirror and I told myself, why wait? We took this shit worldwide, you only in 5 states. Came from the 4 corners with my 4 quarters. Showed them the style, then they stole on us. Times got wild, then they told on us. Dog, it was hard, but we had to keep it rolling. You ain't gotta ask, you know where to find me. I be in the back streets where it get grimy. It's just me and Mel, Rennie looking bride D. I be going hard till I'm in the 5 C's. Know the vibes. I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides. I ain't never had to tell a lie. Let's ride. Know the vibes. I'ma do it till I die. I ain't never switched sides. I ain't never told them a lie. Let's ride. Hood postman. 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 Hood postman.
Shout out to the Mailroom Nation and the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mill, your hood postman. Shout out to Marlena Williams, the Postmaster General. And happy birthday to King Mike Marks XL. We're here. City Hood. Click. Let's go. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below so when the dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the 1st and the 15th. Welcome to this thought-provoking Thursday. I am your host, once again, the Hood Postman, for those who don't know, thought leader, influence, content creator. There it is, you guys. Every day, the clock resets. Your wins don't matter. Your failures don't matter. Don't stress on what was. Fight for what could be. That's it. Fight for what could be. But isn't it funny how many of us become stranger in this journey? The people you shared lunch with, the people you sat next to in class, the people you played sports with, the people you made promises to stay in touch with after school. Life has a witty way of segregating the permanent from the temporary. Life has a witty way for separating the permanent from the witty from the temporary. It's the important from the inessential. That's just what it is, guys. I mean, because I'm reflecting of this because I'm talking about my guy, Billy St. Julian. Billy St. Julius. Went to school with him. I might have spelled his name wrong. It might have been Billy St. Julius or Billy St. Julian. I might have spelled his name wrong. If I did, I apologize for that. I apologize for that. But went to school with him. We were probably in the 5th, 6th grade. We went to Francis Willard. When I first met him, he was always just kind of like a muscular kind of guy. He was a man child. There was 3 guys that I could think of just right off a hand that was just man child that I grew up. That was Donald Prescott. That was Billy St. Julia. And then there was Howard Hall, Yogi. Those dudes, that just was bad. They was grown men when they was in the 6th grade doing stuff that, I wouldn't dream of. You know what I mean? And part of how I came to certain things was from these individuals, you know what I mean? Because they grew up so fast, you know what I mean? Because this life is fleeting, and you don't realize that you want to have like a steady progress, but at the same time, you don't want to rush to become grown when you're a kid, because sometimes your life can be derailed. It can be something catastrophic can occur, you know what I mean, to just derail your whole situation. So one day at school, right, when I found out who Billy was as a friend, and we'll get to the Piru stuff later on. Um, we were going to Francis Wood. There was this guy. His name was I think his name was Neil Patterson. He had brothers and cousins named Duna Boy and Danny Boy and Baby or something to that degree. These guys, and then there was One Eye Rolling and another cat named Yogi. They was all pretty tight. So these guys would come up to the school every day, because they wanted to put that intimidation factor. The guy Neil Patterson was a bully. The rest of them was kind of like, they was average. But this guy Neil Patterson was clearly a bully. So particular day, me, Billy, a couple other guys, and we was out there having a softball game right here in Francis Willard. We was on Alameda and El Segundo. And me and this guy had some words. He over the fence and I'm over the fence. So I'm thinking like, okay, he talking through the fence, I'm talking through the fence, no harm, no foul, you know what I mean? But this guy now, he attempting, he say, he finna come over this fence and whoop my ass. Just like that, you know what I mean? Because I guess he felt like he was that guy. So of course, he was older. So the only thing I could do was grab a bat. I grab a bat. When I before I could look around, Billy runs and grab a bat. Now we both got bats. Now we waiting on this joker to come over this fence because we're gonna whoop his ass. Just simple as that. Ain't nothing for he ain't for whatever he had in his mind, he had to hurry up and change it because them bats meant business. And he knew that. And he changed his mind. You know what I mean? And that was our first really becoming tight back then, Me and Billy St. Julian and St. Julius. I think it was St. Julius. I apologize if I spelled it wrong. St. Julius. But anyway, his sons now have a barbershop right over there on Long Beach Boulevard across the street from City called St. Julian's. And they doing well, you know what I mean? Shout out to those guys. He had two brothers. He had Wally. Then he had Winston. Winston was the oldest, and Wally, they called him Whispers because he, not making fun of him, but he whispered when he talked. I don't know, something happened with his vocal cords, his vocal box, and he just spoke at a whisper, so everybody used to call him Whispers. He grew up on MacDivitt, which is right in the middle of, a lot of people probably don't know this, but I'm revealing now. He grew up on MacDivitt, right next to Curtis Patrick, CP, Curtis Patrick. Curtis Patrick was actually one of the first guys from over there that became a Piru. Him, Jug Luck, and Barton and all those guys are real familiar with each other. But yeah, he became a Piru. And at that time, when Duck and I don't know what Chester Millwell, Robert Thomas, Gary, the governor, Snake, Nathaniel Fletcher, Chocolate, Chili Pip, all those guys came. Well, they came from the Factor Brookers out of Banning and came back and they kicked off the Crip thing over there. So a lot of the cats, that was whatever they thinking, they changed their mind about it. So, but anyway, Curtis get into it with a guy named Ray at a party. I don't know why they got into it, but they got into it and they was close friends, you know what I mean? Because they was both Pirus and Curtis. Somehow Ray came up stabbed and he lost his life. Rest in peace to Ray Johnson. Shout out to Russell Johnson. Shout out to the whole Johnson family, you know what I mean, for not being, well, because I speak about their brother and I'm sure they miss him dearly, you know what I mean? Everybody missed him. He was, for what I saw him from afar, you know what I mean? And I just knew he was just a tall brother. Used to wear that dark chocolate, black and chocolate waistline leather coat with the Levi's, and yeah, he was like, he looked like one of them guys, and I'm sure he was because I remember all the guys was like looking up to him back then. But anyway, something happened between him and Curtis, and an altercation ensued, and Ray lost his life. At that point, Curtis came back and he became a Crip at that point. But anyway, so Billy, going back to Billy, I don't want to lose where I'm at. Billy was such a good guy, you know what I mean? And And Billy, I believe Billy and them came from Watts, you know what I mean? Because they once he got over there, I met Wing Dog. Wing Dog was, he was kin to Kurt and Pancho Tillman, Delbert Tillman, and Billy knew all those people. So I believe they came from Watts because they have a really close, tight knit relationship with those guys. And this is the first time I started seeing guys that actually, at their age, they was hustling, man. They was getting on top of liquor stores. They had a ladder, right? And the ladder would stretch up, and they get on top of the liquor store, pull the ladder up, and they be in there, man. They got these saws and these different type of tools, and they dig a hole straight in the top of the liquor store, and they get down in there, and they get the safe, they get the money, and get everything. I had never seen it because at this time I got to be no more than 12 years old. But then when I started like kind of hanging with them, I got 13, 14, somewhere in there, you know what I mean? And at this time, things are beginning to change and people are beginning to identify with certain areas and certain neighborhoods. By this time, Billy moves away. So that's how he moved away. I believe he moved over there on Essie. So I believe that's when he started identifying as a Piru at that point. And he was like a real muscular dude and everything. So we lost track. I went on to Whaley, and I think Billy went on to Roosevelt, and me, Donald Prescott, and yo, we're all at Whaley. Even Donald Prescott was a Piru. I ain't gonna hold them back. I'll tell y'all guys, some of these guys that was Crips was Pirus, and some of these Pirus was Crips. That's just the facts. They may want to deny today or yesterday or tomorrow, but the facts are the facts. They just got to live with it. Tell them Professor Melly Mail said it. So, Billy, I was hearing his name, right? Because at that point, Billy became a hand god. Billy was good with his hands, and it was funny, man. Them cats. Let me tell you this one story they used to do, man. They used to go up to Our Lady of Victory, right? Our Lady of Victory was right there on on Palmer and Willow, the corner of Palmer and Willow. It's a Catholic church, right? They would go up in there like they pretending to go to church, but they would go up in there and steal a collection box. The collection box. Like during that time, I don't know, was it a Catholic thing or not? I don't know. They would as soon as you enter the doors, the double doors and come in, there'll be a donation box where people used to drop money. And Billy and Wink Dog didn't go in there and grab the whole come up out of there, have all the money. Myself, my mind wasn't diluted or polluted with religion at the time, so I didn't really understand the what was happening as far as people were saying, because people were saying they gonna burn in the hell and all this kind of stuff for doing that. People that start knowing their business, and just start making these accusations and start saying these things about these individuals stealing his money out the church. I didn't care, give me a cut, give me some lunch money, help me out, Street Smart Square guy. Shout out to you, man. Pour from the like button. Right on, bro. Yeah, so this is how I'm talking about. Have you ever heard of that? Somebody going to church, pretending to go to church and getting dressed up and everything, and just to go to church to steal the whole collection plate. I believe that's probably why they got security in a lot of these churches today, behind Billy and Wink Dog. Okay, because they was going there taking the whole pot. And I don't know if they sit back and wait for everybody to drop money in there, or what point did they actually lift the whole thing and come up. They did it a few times, and at some point the church had to get wise that somebody is taking our money, because they coming up short-handed every Sunday, for a good minute. So yeah, that happened. So and once again, I started going to Whaley. The funny thing about going to Whaley, right? I'm riding the bus. At this time, it's 71. 71, my first year at Whaley. And there was nothing there, obvious. The gangs hadn't evolved and it hadn't sectioned up at this point. So the summer 71, 72, when I come back, after summer vacation, these guys are moving different. You know what I mean? I'm seeing the dress code is different. They got these auburn patches in their head. They got these ace deuces on. And they got all these different, you know what I mean? They got these Levi's, the girls got the moccasins on, they got these bomber jackets, and they looking different and they acting different, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to make out what's going on, you know what I mean? But it wasn't long before they started singling me out, you know, because they said this is and the crazy thing about all this, you know, of course, my boy Billy is going to another school. I ain't got him there, you know, and I got these other cats that's like, dudes are checking out school like, man, like it's the thing to do. So I'm going to school and ask me, where was I from? I'm like, where I'm from, you know, from over there, you know, something to that degree. I don't even remember what I told them. But this is what they told me. Oh, yeah, you ride the bus. You a Crip. This is what they told me, you know. So I let that sink in, but by this time I'm familiar with what's going on because I'm going up to Oaks Park every day playing baseball. So I'm seeing Doug, I'm seeing Robert Thomas, I'm seeing Gary, I'm seeing Nathaniel Fletcher, the Snake Chocolate, Hercules, Chili Pimp. I'm seeing Donnie Wayne, I'm seeing Killer Mac, I'm seeing Karate Man, I'm seeing all these individuals up there, man. All the dudes, Duck Shorty, Wino, Peabody, all the dudes from Linwood Crip, all the dudes from Red House, Mad Nut, uh, uh, Weasel, Shotgun, Tookie, Cross, Killer Carl. I'm seeing all these cats up at Oaks Park. And they all like up there, you know what I mean? This is when dudes was like joining the Crips. You had to, you know, you had to go down the line. You had to at least either go chess with somebody or you going down the line, you getting tested before you be able to accept this, whatever this Crip thing is, right? Right. So I'm looking at all this. So when I get back to school, they automatically single me out. Man, it was one cat. Man, his name was I believe his name was Joseph Fitz, right? And he approached me one day, man, and before he could even, he was like, when he would start taking his jacket off, that's where he made a mistake. He started taking his jacket off, and I rushed him, bop, 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 started putting him on him, and his arms was caught up in his jacket, and then I grabbed the top of his jacket, pulled it open, start working him. And Mr. Christian gathered. We had a vice principal named Mr. Christian. Mr. Christian had a paddle about that long with a gang of holes, and he would write your name on that paddle. If he found your name on that paddle, that determined how many swats you got. So my name wasn't on it. So you know what I mean? He could, but when I looked at Wayne, man, because at this time he take me to the office. Stanley Pitts is in the office. I see him hit Stanley Pitts with that paddle. Man, I told him, man, you gotta call my mama. You ain't hit me with that paddle. No, you ain't no. That is not happening, partner. Not today. Not today. I'm like that lady, not today. That's it. I'm not going for it, right? I was adamant about that, you know. So yeah, they called my mama. You know, we had to come up there and have a parents' conference and everything. And I didn't get swatted, but I got reprimanded or I suspended for the fight. And the man said that the type of tactics I use in my fighting game, he wasn't like pleased by it because I guess he felt like you know, man, I was scared. When you're scared and you know all these dudes is up there is possibly on the same side, and you on one side, and maybe you got maybe at best 10 dudes that you know that you down from your neighborhood, you know what I mean? And they looking for weaknesses, you know what I mean? They looking for a weak link or a way to get in. My homie Midnight IB, he don't put hands on a couple of people. They scared of Yo gonna whoop a couple of people. Donald Prescott, they terrified of him. So, you know, that left me. So until they found out. But anyway, it was so crazy back then that Icky Dawson would come up to the school looking for Yogi. That's just how much of a man they believed he was, or how much of a threat he believed he was, you know. And I'm just telling my story, whether, you know, people accept it or reject it. It's just a story. It's just my story. It's my truth and my perception and experience of that reality. So, I'm telling it. So I'm hearing all this stuff, man. I'm at Whaley, right? I'm hearing all this stuff. So now we getting ready to go to Dominguez. So I'm hearing all this stuff about Billy. I still don't see. I don't know what happened. I get to Dominguez. I'm expecting to see Billy up there at this time. I don't see Billy. I don't know if Billy went to YA or he was a youth authority or not. But the whole time, right on, Sleepy Rare. What's going on? Right on, the whole Star Wolf. What's happening? Shout out to Vegas. The whole time I'm in Dominguez, I don't see Billy. Like, dang, I wonder what happened to Billy. And that's why I say it's funny how so many of us become strangers in this journey. The people you shared lunch with, or people you sat next to in school, the people you played sports with, or you made promises to stay in touch with them after school. Life has a witty way of segregating a permanent or on a temporary basis. That's just what happens. And I believe Billy must have been, because Billy was all into all kind of stuff back then, as a youngster. So I don't know that part. I don't know if he was in YA, YTS, or whatever, but I never did see him at Dominguez. So as we grow, I'm still hearing his name, and he knows me well. I know him. So I catch a case. I wind up going to Chino West. I'm in Chino West, right? Me, my homie Gabo, my homie Donald Guyton, young Gertz is up there. That's his first time. That's our first time in the pit. Gertz is up there. I'm in Sequoia. I think Gertz was in Borrego. And I think Gabo and D was in Cypress or something like that. So, but anyway, we roam in the West Yard. So get up there. I look across and I see Shamrock. Shamrock and Billy used to hang out. Lo and behold, get up there, Shamrock, say Billy up there. So I said, oh man, I gotta go find Billy. So I walk to West Yard, I find Billy. He over there with Big Herm, big country from Big Herman off the Santa Fe Mafia side of the game. They over there buffing around. By this time, Billy got like a boat on the hang. He boated up. He swole for real. And him and Herm over there getting their buff on. So I think Billy at that time, Billy was probably more or less into hustling and more or less into because Billy was a handsome guy. He was a ladies' man, so I'm sure he was working his twist on that. You know what I mean? Because we met up later on, and I'll tell you furthermore about that too. But so these dudes put the press on Shamrock. So Shamrock know me from Dominguez, from Whaley and Dominguez. So Shamrock get at me and telling me some LA dudes. I think this dude from 111 or something was putting the press on him, trying to get him, right? I said, nah, man, I ain't finna let that happen, Shamrock. Don't worry about it, man. So anyway, Billy and Country get involved, and they come over there. We got Billy, Country, my homie Gabo was there, of course, and the other homies. My homie Snoop, rest in peace, he was there. Larry Washington. Larry took care of all of us. And then my brother-in-law got up there, Butch. And Bush didn't play with nobody. Bush was real quiet but deadly. Didn't play with nobody. I seen Bush get out the truck one time and stick a shotgun down somebody's mouth. That's just and that's my brother-in-law. He rest in peace as well. But anyway, he reminded me of John Shaft something when I saw him do that. But anyway, so we up there, man. These cats are spitting, man. But once we came together, we both trying up on them, you know what I mean? And they went on and changed their mind about the situation. And Shamrock was appreciative of that, you know what I mean? And Billy was glad to see me. I was glad to see it. Due to the circumstances, we in prison, you know what I mean? Nothing's happy about that, but I hadn't seen Billy in so long. He hadn't seen me so long. So we sat there, we just chopped it up. So I guess dudes seen Billy and they really didn't know where Billy was from, and they never did go ask him. That's the one thing they didn't do. They didn't ask him, the whole time. Billy is a Piru, what I mean? It wasn't my job to tell him, I wasn't finna do that's my friend, I grew up with him. I didn't care if he was a Piru, but that's the difference. We have to understand as Black people, those relationships that we had in the 70s were quite different from the ones they have now in this millennium, because we actually went to school, we hung out, we played sports together, we hung out after school, we raised fruit trees, we ran track together, we did all sorts of kind of things. So those bonds was built regardless to later on. There was times where I'm somewhere and people gonna get at me, they gonna get at me, right? I'm at a party. I forgot this part. Billy and a bunch of mold Pirus there. They come up in there. And Billy see me once again. Bam. That ain't finna happen, you know. I'm his partner. And vice versa. I had to return the favor to him. You know what I mean? That's just how it happened, you know. So a lot of things that people think happened back then or occurred, but things that did get crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all, things did get crazy in the 80s because of the crack, because of the enormous amount of drugs that was dropped in South Central Compton once, and it exploded. You know what I mean? And now you got guys buying large ammunition, automatic weapons. You got guys spending huge amounts of money on armory, bullets, guns, you know, so the violence increased because now dudes is not only beefing about red and blue, they beefing about streets and blocks and spots and apartment buildings, you know, who can set up shop over here and who can't, and then you got the Jamaicans trying to come in and set up land that shut them down real quick. You know, they dudes that grew up in them certain neighborhoods, they wasn't allowing that. You know, the Jamaicans thought they just come set up shop anywhere. Keith Jackson, what up? Oh, gee, I have a great uncle who lives in Gardenia, California. What I don't get why your Crips and Bloods beefing. You don't get why they beefing. Yeah, I don't either, man, because it's really astronomically retarded when you think about it. It is. Because the ones in the 70s and 80s, a lot of those dudes had relationships. So a lot of the stuff that happened in the 80s and 90s, man, dudes, they did this, man. You won some and you lost some, but you lived to fight another day. But most of them fights was behind vagina. I believe whatever happened between Ray Johnson and Curtis Patrick, vagina had something to do with it. That's just what I believe, you know. I really, really strongly believe that. I believe vagina has something to do with it. So yeah, going back to Billy, man, you know, he was just a good dude. So moving on, we get into the life, you know. I get into life, you know, I'm talking slick and fast, you know, sitting and thinking in deep meditation, you know. Got a couple of girls on the blade to get out there. So I tried my hand out there and beach and ball, you know, set them down there. But back then I was given proper instructions to prevent poor performance. And I understood that every day I had to, you know, quiz them. You know what I mean? I quiz them when they go out and I quiz them when they come in to see what they saw, what they seen, and what they didn't hear, and then what they didn't know. I had to know all that. You know what I mean? That's how I keep the cheat up off of me, because I wasn't out there stalking. I wasn't out there wilding behind no girl and none of that. I see Billy out there getting down, you know, same thing, you know, because I'm reading palms back then. Yeah, I was reading palms. I'm reading the women's palm. That was the gimmick. That was my gimmick, because I wasn't no gorilla. You know what I mean? I was a finesser, smoother. You like Bitter Dog Bruno would say, a placer. But anyway, so I found Billy out there getting down. You know, he had a couple of white girls or whatever and doing his thing. You know, I wasn't mad at him. I said, get out, man. I blessed him. He blessed me. You know, but everything out there was moving kind of different. So I get up out of there. But I hear later on, you know what I mean? And rest his soul. God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Billy St. Julian. He lost his life out there. And I don't know what the particulars were or what happened, you know what I mean? Because a lot of cats from Compton went out there in that Orange County, that Anaheim. I was out there, and the sheriffs told me, this is what they told me, that I had too many relationships with too many white women and something was going to happen to me. They told me that in my face. They didn't blink, they didn't laugh, they didn't smile, they didn't do none of that. That's what they said. I believe them. Out. I'm gone. I'm done. No, I don't need them type of problems. But anyway, Dutch from Atlantic Drive, he called a life sentence out there. Matter of fact, he wound up on death row. behind some girl getting burnt up and thrown in the trunk of a car with lighter fluid on it, And I don't know, what the particulars and all that, what I mean? If you want to, you go read the case. His name is Gary Brent's. The case, you can Google the case. Gary Brent's versus OC. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Scar Wolf. I appreciate that. God's favorite atheist. I like that. Yeah, I wouldn't let the people, man. If people put them, try to put their religion up in you, man, I rejected it altogether because I didn't grow up in no religious home. My mother and father didn't subscribe to it, so we didn't go. We didn't have to go to that. What up, OG? Do you think Bloods and Crips in San Diego are official? Because I don't think. Yeah, they official, man. You know what I mean. Anywhere these dudes. You gotta understand, man. I don't care if you in Milwaukee, you in DC, you in Chicago, you in Texas, you in Tennessee. If that's what you aspiring to be, and that's how you carrying it, all them dudes is potentially deadly, bro. Every last one of them. They may not be from the homeland itself, but they got the same potential, the same threat, the same level of violence. Violence is afforded to those who use the best and the quickest. That's it. It don't matter how tough, man. You can have Stanley Tookie Williams, JaVale, Raymond Washington, all these cats standing there. But if you got some cats that use the exercise and use their bodies a lot quicker than what they do, they're gonna take them down. It don't matter how big their name is. It don't matter how many muscles they got. It don't matter. Violence is afforded to those who use the best and the quickest. That's just it. Bottom line. Keith Jackson is the Crips and Bloods all up and down California, and they earn their respect in the penitentiary. Yeah, exactly. Yep, they did, bro. I got a great deal of respect for the man. The ball game is out of 619 Hoodie Hood, and quite a few people that are my boy Ralph, Big Ralph out of there, man. I know quite a few people out of there. How Lincoln Park don't claim Piru, then they switched to Bloods. I don't know, man. That right there, that gets funny too, because now the Pirus will tell you in a minute, in a heartbeat, they're not Bloods. But they the ones that started to turn blood. The Pirus did that. Pirus in the bounty hunters, where they put that game in the Bonnaroo, they had to have a word that commonly linked them together, and that word term was blood. This was an endearment. Wow. Yeah, he's having it. Tony Moore, what's happening, man? I miss you, man. Shout out to Tony Moore, man. Factor Jamaicans were a factor in DC until they were pushed. Yeah, see that, because that's what the Jamaicans do, though, bro. If you don't push them out, they will take over some stuff. DJ Vegas, what's happening? A lot of games they won this day, won at the beginning of the era, but that doesn't mean they weren't. Yeah, originally coming from later on, Piru came from the Piru streets, and Crips are originally from the east side. That's true. That is so. Stubby Mac, what's happening? Salute Manny Mill and the Mailroom Nation. Michelle, how are you doing today, Michelle? What's good? Tell me something. Oh, there go my guy, the ball game. The ball game can come up ball game. Let me put you up in here, man. You come explain this guy about the 619, man, since he got some questions about it. I got somebody from the 619 to come up in there. There you go, ball game. Get that link, man. Ball game say you better ask somebody. God damn it. Grab the link, ball game. I got you up in there, man. You know I got your back, ball game. I got your back, baby. Big Jonathan George. See, ball game took me to all that stuff. I saw all that stuff, man. You know. Here we go. We got the ball games, ladies and gentlemen. We got the ball game for the 619, you know. We got him up in there. What's up, ball game?
All right. What's happening?
Man, help the brother Keith Jackson, man. He got a couple of questions, you know what I mean? And I mean, you know, I heard his question, but at the same time, I don't know how he arrived there, because like I was telling you, anybody can be deadly. It don't matter where you at. You know, it's best who uses the body is the best and the fastest, swiftest, you know. So
Yeah,
it don't belong to any one individuals or groups.
yeah. Well, much respect to Mr. Jackson, but the thing is, but the 619. This is one thing. Everybody know that the that the game banging started. You know what I'm saying? I guess on the east side of LA, according to a lot of the Crip sets. I mean, Raymond Washington's history. And then some of the brothers Mac Thomas and a lot of them who come up out of Compton and other places. You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm saying? But at the same time, during those same years, you know what I'm saying, in 1972, 1973, San Diego, you understand, was just, I don't like to say running neck and neck with LA because San Diego has never been in competition with anybody,
Exactly.
especially when it comes to gang banging because first of all, we still have to take into consideration that gang banging has really done nothing to really to better our situation as a people. But since we're talking about it, you know what I mean, the 619, you know what I'm saying, our reputation really come from that Chino, from that penitentiary. Our reputation, come from that San Quentin and that Solid Dad and that Tracy and that Calipatra. And that was back in the early 70s. Why? Is because a lot of brothers up out of San Diego was involved with a whole bunch of different prison cliques back in those days. And because a lot of the brothers from the 619 who are triples out here, a couple of my uncles, a couple of cousins, and some family members, they all belong to certain different sets. Some of them belong to Blue Notes, some of them belong to Bloodline, some of them belong to the Black Gorilla family, and was so forth. So I named them, but I don't name the sets no more because you got a lot of people that belong to different organizations, and
Uh-huh.
and there's still a lot of pessimistic views about those particular situations. But the 619, man, you know what I'm saying? We got ours really from the penitentiary, not necessarily streets. And let me tell you why not necessarily the streets.
Who is Gangster
Because
Earn?
Gangsta Earn is my homeboy, and we're talking. Earn died when he was 26. When Earn died, and I can tell you that story because I was with Earn the day that he died. I wasn't with him when he died, but I was with him. He and I was together all day the day that he died, and that's a whole different
Okay,
situation.
got you.
And I think, before Mickey Slick, Gangsta Earn, if he hadn't lived, he was definitely gonna be the first rapper to come out of San Diego that was gonna make some real noise. So that's who Ernest was. So
Uh-huh.
so the 619, we ain't never tried to be like nobody. We ain't never the San Diego ain't I mean, I'm talking about from I'm gonna speak for the Bloods and the Crips. We've always been our own city and we've always done our own thing. And when we go through them gates, when we go through them penitentiaries, you understand what I'm saying? Any other city, we don't care who it is. They fucking with the 619, they're gonna have to deal with us. And that's the reason why the 619 has the reputation that it has, because we got Melly, you like to talk about hand guys, but we got a reputation for really doing that in that penitentiary. So
Uh-huh.
so that's where that comes from.
Okay, got you. Got you. So what was Jonathan George like? Because you took me to where he rests at, right?
Yeah. Well, even Baba Louie said it best that it was him, Jonathan George, and a couple of other brothers up out of Compton, up out of the Piru sets, up out of Compton, and Jonathan George is from 5'9" Brims here in San Diego, my big homie. Actually, Jonathan George is from Central City,
Shout out to Keith Cross.
and Jonathan George, and according to Bob Louie, you know what I'm saying, him and Jonathan George and some other brothers in YTS pinned the Blood moniker back then. But and another thing I want to say, even when it comes to the history, we'll never really get down to the truth because everybody has
A version.
a version, and everybody has their own idea how the Blood moniker was pinned,
Uh-huh.
but and of course the older uncles and the older cousins, back in my days when I was growing up in the early 70s, they would always say young blood, but it wasn't really pinned to no set
You
or
know
no.
what I always say though, ball game. I always say it was the glue that was able to link all those games, all the anti-Crip games together. The term blood became the glue to that, because if you had the Outlaws, the Brims, you had the Swans, you had the Miller Gangsters, you had all these different people in the Pirus, of course, and then you had the Inglewood families. They all were relatively their own sections and own cliques and gangs, right? But when you created the term blood, which was created during that time, what Baba Louie say by the Pirus and the Bonnarus and cats out of San Diego, you know what I mean? I could see that happening, because now you got a cohesiveness, and you got a group of individuals that's agreeing upon something in order to make them stronger. It was very
And
necessary.
it,
Because
it, it was
the Crips outweighed, outnumbered, out everything them back then, so they had to come together. There was no other
and
way.
and you know, for the brothers who decided to go anti-Crip, as we're saying, for the brothers who became Damus, who became Bloods, you know what I mean? You know, they really had to, they had to really represent their neighborhoods with the understanding, you know, that back in those days we were outnumbered.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you had to come into a particular situation and put yourself in a mindset that, hey, we got to be, you know, we got to be not, we got to be just as vicious as the Crips are, because we have smaller numbers. You know what I mean? And you got to think about it, Melly, man. It's really, it's I'll always put I'll always say that it was really effed up that we had to really take on that mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because you had a lot of good brothers on both sides of the tracks that lost their
True.
lives, man.
True.
You know what I'm saying? That lost their lives just behind that. And I know a couple.
Lock and Low was my guy.
Well, you know, my little brother, my little brother, Fat Daddy, 12 years ago. You know, 41 years old, just had a stroke. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the young brothers out here, Blood and Crips, you know, the Brims and West Coast or neighborhood, whoever it was, they got to busting at each other. And I mean, it was a vicious gunfight. But the brother could, my younger brother, man, he couldn't even duck and move. You know, he couldn't even get out the way. You know what I mean? And caught one. You know what I mean? And like I said, you know, 12 years ago, I was still in the mindset that this is bullshit, and you know, and even though my brother had just got killed, I still pushed the line on peace, man. And the reason I pushed the line on peace, because I didn't want to see no innocent brother on the other side, what we call the other side of the tracks, you know, who was a Crip who had nothing to do with my brother's death. I didn't want to see nobody else get killed, man. But I'm a gangster. I'm a G. I'm gonna go on and say it. That's just the way I think. I'm not when I was gang banging, when I was really deep into gang banging, I think I only played with tools a couple of times, because for me, gang banging wasn't about the shooting; it was about the chunking them. Nigga, come over here, let's meet up at the park, and since you from whatever set you from, you know, show me what your set is about by let's chunk them heads up. That was the mindset that we was grown. We grew
You
up
know,
in.
ball game, when the emotions become amplified, it's the actions that cause the momentum to increase. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying, because you know, to lose a brother in such a horrific way, and not necessarily, it was unfair. It was unfair because he wasn't able to fend for himself, but nobody took into account that he was, you know, because when all this stuff is occurring, people is just doing what they're doing and not looking around. There's kids. There's always kids getting hit. I mean, you know, it's just so destructive and so deadly and so just mindless how these dudes do it. You know what I mean? And don't understand that it not only affect them, it impact other people's family. You know what I mean? And so it's a domino effect.
But this is the thing, though. But you know, it's what has always been baffling to me is how easy it was for us how easy it was for us not only to kill each other, but the viciousness behind it.
Who was
And then
Mad Bob?
Mad Bob is my, as a matter of fact, one of the homegirls just resent me his new Mad Bob is a G. Mad Bob is Mad Bob is from Central City, man. Mad Bob is my big me and Mad Bob. Well, I let me just say this. Mad Bob is just one of them type of dudes, man.
I got you. So they
Yeah.
asked you another question right here. You see that one?
Nah, I can't really see the chat. Let me
Okay,
see.
so he said, "Hey, what's up, OG ball game? Does you know Michael Baraka Mason, aka Don San Diego?"
Who? Wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me see what he's talking about. Let me see. What up, OG? Do you know Michael Baraka Mason, aka yeah, I know Don Diego. He's a little homie. He's from Lincoln Park though. He's down. He locked up. I think he in Soledad. He ain't never coming home, man. Yeah. I know little Don Diego real well, and Don Diego's a cold rapper himself. The boy's a cold lyricist.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? You know, the boy can be he can ghostwrite for somebody right from behind bars and make some money.
Yeah, you said a mouthful right there, baby. E Guns brought a lot of cowards into banging when you had to come from the shoulders. It was
Goddamn
different
right.
around at that time. Yeah, you're right,
Yeah,
man.
you goddamn right. You know,
So the
and I
shoulders
always
separated the men from the boys.
from
I
the
mean, like I
boys,
say,
you know
man,
what I
you
mean?
won some and you
And you
lost some,
lost
but you
them.
lived to fight another day, man.
You know what I mean? I like I said
I
back in
got
my
my ass
day,
whooped, but I gave some ass whoopings too, you know.
you know, I done been in some strong fights, man, and I remember some of the brothers that I used to chunk them with. I remember who these brothers are because they was hard, long fights. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not gonna necessarily say that I got my ass whooped, but I did get busted in the back of the head with a golf club. I did get jumped 3 or 4 times where I had to jump over the bar, get the hell up out of
Hey,
there.
ball game. That ain't an ass whooping. I don't know what you call that, but
I
okay,
don't
I'll
know.
let you define it.
Yeah, I'm just saying because
I'm just
for
messing with
me,
you, ball game.
I know you is Melly because you like a brother to me. But my thing is, for me, when I say an ass whooping, this is where you just can't move, you can't get up. I mean, the
Oh no,
stretcher
I ain't
got,
never been like that, ball game.
the stretcher got to come get you. And
No.
I never been like that, but I've been jumped. I've been outnumbered. I chunked them heads up with. Well, there was one time where, you know, I had a heads up with some brothers, man, and it was 3 of them, and it was just me. And I
Yep,
stole
that's
on,
true, baby.
and I took. Let me see what they saying, and I took off on all 3 of them. I didn't give a damn. You know what I mean? What do you say? Let me see,
No, he
baby.
talking about me being in a sleeper.
Oh, okay, I got you. Oh, I see that. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Yeah. Hey, Marlena, how you doing, baby? And but my thing was, me and my brother, my brother Melly. I got a brother named Melly,
Uh-huh.
and he and I talk. We love when me and my brother Melly, my older brother Levan, when we get on the 3-way on the phone, we have a good time talking about the past and some of the things that we used to do. And let me tell y'all why we have a good time talking about it, because other than my little brother Fat Daddy, we survived a lot of things, man. We came out a lot of things, and a lot of people, and my brothers, everybody is doing well, man. But I've done some things where I should be in prison for the rest of my life, and I'm not proud, of it.
Right.
You know what I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
say this again, ball game, but I said it at the beginning of the show. I said, isn't it funny how many of us become strangers in this journey? The people you shared lunch with, the people you sat next to in class, the people you played sports with, the people you made promises to stay in touch with after school. Life just had a witty way to segregate the permanent from the temporary, the importance from the essential. You know what I mean? And that's what happened in gangbanging. You know what I mean? Because a lot of before the gangbanging, we had relationships. And we played together. We played sports at the same park. We swim together. We ran track together. There was so many things we did together, and then we let a simple thing, a simple-minded thing like a term like Crip or a term like Piru separated us, but we didn't fully understand the totality and what that, how that would, necessarily land, because we took it so serious that we was willing to kill for it. And
Well,
that was terrible.
it wasn't that we was willing to kill for it. We killed for it. Excuse me for a second.
Yeah. How's Madman doing, ball game?
Madman needs some counseling, man. That dude right there, man. We need to put my homie on some meds, man. That brother
He's
done went through.
he really mad now. Huh?
Yeah, he really, Madman. He's Madman is Madman is in North Carolina. He's still driving them trucks, but he just beat cancer. So congratulations to him for that. But he mad that Miss Ann is just crazy. That nigga, man, that brother there, man, he my homeboy. I love him to death, but he really is he mad.
Let's see. Don Diego is Baby London. I got a song with his brother Tiny Lon Don.
He's not London. It's London. Yeah, baby.
Oh, London. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, London. Yeah, he said he got a song with Baby London. Tiny London.
Yeah. Tiny London. I don't know who that brother. I don't know if that must be one of his relatives or a little brother. A lot of these youngsters. They all step to me and say, "Hey, big homie," and they show me love. But if I just don't know who they are, I don't know their names. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Some of these little brothers, man, out here in the town.
So how's Sir Rod Dog? Sir Rod doing?
Now, Sir Rod passed away 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, Sir Rod passed. Sir Rod was a gangster. That was my homeboy. He was good with his hands too. A lot of brothers didn't want to chunk him with him. They didn't want to chunk him with him even when he was smoking that crack.
He was just that vicious with it, huh?
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? And he would always say, ball game. These niggas don't want to fuck with me, boss. I know, Rod. They don't want to fuck with me. So, yeah. So, Rod, rest in peace to that brother, man. Well, then again, there's two of them. Which one he talking about?
I don't know. He didn't say.
Okay. Well, there's one with the dreads, so he got to specify. So, Rod with the dreads, if he talking about him, that brother doing good. He got 5 kids. He raising his family.
That's probably the one he talking about. Let me see. Let me go back to the question. I think that's the one he was talking about.
Well, if that's who he's talking about, Sir Rod is doing well. And, he's staying, but that Sir Rod is vicious as well. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So, you know what I mean? But he's a little bit more mellower than Sir Rod the G. We call him Sir Rod the G, Sir Rod the gangster, the one that passed away. And let me tell you how he passed away. Let me tell you, all the females that he had, he taught them to gang bang. He taught them to do drive-by shooting. He would say, any broad that fuck with me, man, they better be ready to blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, it's speculated, but she is locked up right now, but it's speculated that he tipped up, you know what I'm saying, this chick that he was with, and she shot him up with a lethal dose of fentanyl.
Oh.
And killed my home. We just don't know how much, and we don't know how true it is, but that's the story going around right now.
Okay. That's a horrible way to go, bro.
That is, you know what I mean? He said he was asleep. Got him drunk, put that needle in his arm and lit him up.
Man, that's terrible, bro.
And
how things been going for you, ball game?
Everything's been going good, Melly. We did a press conference yesterday down here in San Diego. And
where'd y'all do the press conference at?
We did it in front of the county building, man. The county just gave the No Shots Fired campaign. Me, Bishop, Wacky Corn from West Coast Crip, Shody Mack from West Coast Crip. You got Quincy You got Q Ball from Linda Vista Crip. You got myself. You got um, Amanda. She's our administrator, the white girl. Couple other people, man, and we got the brother up there, Akil, the one that does the PC, the one that does the training. What's his name? Akil up there in LA.
Achilles
Akil, is that his?
Terrell?
Yeah, is that him? The one that does the
Yeah,
training?
yeah.
Yeah, he. Anyway, we just got a $1.2 million grant,
He's
man. They just.
he's my first cousin's father, her kids.
Oh, okay. We just got a $1.2 million grant, man. We just got it today. They just told us today.
Good.
Yeah, so we're gonna since they're gonna, some of that money is gonna be used to pay for my tuition. I'm going back to school just to learn how to write how to learn how to write grants, excuse me, and a lot of that money we're gonna use to try to help a lot of these young brothers and sisters become employed.
And that right there, that'll definitely keep the ruckus down, because a lot of these cats they just idle, bro.
That's all. They just idle, man. And I noticed that when I got hired on with the city of San Diego when I was 24 years old, that hiring actually saved my life.
Uh-huh.
But
That's the
now,
same thing that happened to Big Deb, you know what I mean, with some 20
yeah,
some years ago, when he took on became a locomotive engineer, and
yeah,
diesel
yeah,
mechanic.
yeah. You know what Big Dev told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me that. But me, when I got hired on with the city of San Diego, my first job with the city of San Diego, I was as a matter of fact, I came on as a custodian, making $15 an hour back then with Qualcomm Stadium, and then my duties went from a custodian to having dugout duty with Bruce Bochy and the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, let me say this, man. Shout out to Wendy Johnson, Shanika Johnson. Shanika lost her grandmother. Wendy lost her mother.
Bless
They
me.
lost her on Christmas Eve, man, and our condolences to them. If
Yeah,
Wendy, if you're listening, we shouting you out and giving your condolences to you and Shanika and the
and
rest of your grandchildren and family and members and everybody. Condolences to all you guys. Appreciate you.
yeah, yeah, man. Damn, I hate to hear that, man. Especially during the holidays, my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, damn, that hurts my heart. So
Yeah,
but
Miss
everything.
Dorothy lived to be 92 though, 92, 93.
We actually should be celebrating then.
Yes. She had a very good life.
Yeah, we actually should be celebrating. Yeah, I know that the immediate family is hurting and they feeling the way they feeling, but I think that's something to celebrate.
Right. Hey, ball game. Do you remember everybody used to go to the 4-Lot-5 Park on Sunday? I think that was the DJ name was Chris Honeycutt.
Yeah, Chris Honeycutt had just got shot in the face. He got shot in the face in front of my brother's beauty salon, man. And they start calling him the blind DJ. And people were really impressed with the fact that after he got shot and he lost his sight, that he got he to come out as a DJ, not being able to see, but knowing where all your albums is at and your crates and mixing the way that he used to mix. Chris got famous out here, and the boy was also famous for having a gang of kids too, man. And I think the nigga got Nick Cannon out.
He got Nick Cannon out bested.
Oh man, yeah, Nick Cannon. I think Nick got 12 now because he just had one today. So I think my homeboy Chris Honeycutt, I think he got 17 kids. Yeah. So Chris was a cold DJ. He's still around too, man. Living in the same house, DJing still, talking shit, still go to the shop and get his Jerry curl done.
He's still wearing. He's still holding on, huh?
He still got Stace off in his bathroom. I seen him I need to go see him. I'm glad somebody brought him up because I ain't seen Chris in about a
Yeah, that's
year.
why I love the San Diego history because it's rich. It's a really rich history, and there's a lot of guys that really was, out of that 619 that, you get the chance to shout their name and people make you remember, and then you get to speak on them. I think that's awesome, because
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
individuals deserve their flowers, bro.
They do, they do. You know what I mean? They really do. They really do, man. If the chat got some more questions for me, you know what I'm saying? What's happening?
Y'all bring it. Ball game waiting on them, man. Them
Yeah,
699 questions. Let's go. City Hood Click. Let's go.
so that's where that's where we at with it. So yeah, man. And so Melly, when you coming back down this way?
Man, you know what? We talked about that, so it's going to be definitely the new year. After the new year, 2023, I will be making my way back to the 619. Because we got a lot of people we got to cover, sit down with, talk to. We got to go in all those different sections. I got countless of messages on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. When I was down there last, man, it was unbelievable, man. So yeah.
Well, the thing is, but there's some sections there's some sections we still gonna stay away from.
Oh
Not
no,
from
you the guide on this, bro. I'm
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm seven in the blind.
yeah. Some sections we can do like we did last time, and we can tour some sections, but some sections we not gonna sit down at, man, because there's still some bad blood going on out here right now, and the holidays has been quiet, so thank God for that. But I want to make sure when you come down that everything is safe. That I don't want to put you in no compromising positions, man, because man, the shit's so unpredictable out here, man.
Yeah, I got you.
You
I
know,
got you.
yeah, man. Something you come down here, something happens, some shit go down, the whole city of Compton will
That's a
be
good
mad.
question, ball game. This is a good question. He said, ball game. Were a lot of the gang sons of former military that were stationed in San Diego?
Fuck no. Hell no. You might got a couple that probably. You might got a couple that settled in the early '90s, and their sons are probably out here doing what they do now. But back in the '70s, for the most part, Southeast San Diego, West Coast,
Shout out to
neighborhood.
Bottom of Cali.
A lot of these neighborhoods, they were native San Diegans. You dig what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Born and
So
raised right here.
he said, how is Samoan Donald?
Samoan Donald's doing real well. Samoan Donald got out of jail. Samoan Donald had 2 murders up under his belt. One of the murders I really wasn't feeling because it was homie on homie. But for the most part, Samoan Donald is a good homie, and I'm glad that he's at home. I'm glad he's home now. And
Uh-huh.
let me tell you why I'm really glad that he's home, because the little brother that came home, he started working, and he has a family now, and he's totally committed to living the rest of his life, as a family man, and
Uh-huh.
doing what he does. And we y'all call him Samoan Donald, but we call him Red Bull. And
Red Bull.
the little brother, he was a dangerous little brother when he was growing up. But that my brother Melly, that's his clique, that's his crew.
Okay.
Yeah, those are his homies. You know what I mean? And Samoan Donald's doing real well. So blessings to him and his new family. And he's been out now for 4 years, man. So
That's good, man.
yeah, that is, man. After doing 32 years.
Oh yeah. That's real good.
Yeah, that's a flag, yeah, man. You know what I
That's
mean?
awesome.
So Samoan Donald's doing real well, yeah. Any other questions?
Hey, Rodney Scott said at one point he thought that San Diego was a haven to get away from LA gang violence.
You can't. And you well, if you thought if you thought San Diego was a haven to get away from LA games, all you doing is coming down here to get caught up in the boot and you know,
It's some different BS.
yeah, you know, shit. Yeah, if you think you're gonna come to San Diego and escape the bullshit, you might as well keep your ass where you at, because that ain't
What
happening.
up, Stan the man? Stan the man. Hey, what's up, ball gang?
Yeah, Stan, Bandana hit me saying that Stan wanted to holler at me, man, and hit me in the thing. I know Stan got the hub and dub thing about to crack, and I
Oh no,
definitely
that's
want
the
to do
other
it.
Stan. That's Stan Shepard. This Stan the man out of LA.
Oh, okay. Well, oh, okay. I know which one you're talking about, Stan the man. Yeah, man. What's up, Stan the man? Yes, yes. You know, blessings. Yeah, yeah. So I need to get with Bandana too, because he hit me yesterday, and I
Okay.
hadn't called him back, man. You know what I mean? You know. So yeah. But other than that, you know.
Tony Moore said, "Thanks for schooling us on San Diego."
Yeah, well, you know, I'm just gonna keep it 100. San Diego. This is one thing I will tell you all about San Diego. It ain't like L.A. or Compton. It ain't every other city, every other street. Well, let me give you guys a little history about me and Compton, because my whole family is from Compton. My grandfather, my uncle Sherman, and so in the summertime, and my oldest brother, even though he was born here in San Diego, my oldest brother graduated from Compton High School.
Uh-huh.
So Levan, my older brother Levan, graduated from Compton High School. So every summer we was in Compton. You know, that's the reason why that's the reason why I know the history of Compton. And my uncle and my aunt, my uncle Sherman had 9 kids, and they lived on that corner right there on Hatchaway right there.
Oh,
And
okay.
and and
There's a
then
triple OG Melly Mill.
say that again.
There's a triple OG Melly Mill.
We're here in San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. There's my brother. My brother's a devil. You got the big homie Melly Mel, the triple OG. Then you got another. You got my nephew who is Lil Melly Mel.
Okay. He said, shout out. He asked a question about triple OG Melly Mill. He asked, how's he doing?
He's doing well. He tell him to specify which one, because he might. Which one? Which Melly Mel? My
He
my
said
brother.
triple OG.
Well, Melly, my brother. Yeah, I guess you can probably. But my I'm not I'm just up under being a triple my damn self. To be a triple, you got to come out of you got a. I consider a triple OG as somebody that was in their neighborhood in the '60s and bringing it into the '70s. I was born in '67, man. I started gang banging just only 10 years after birth. I was only 10 years old when I started stealing. This shit just don't seem fair, man. Nigga barely 2. You know what I mean? So my game banger career started in '76. Now, if you guys consider that a triple OB, 76, 77, if you consider that a triple OG, then so be
Oh,
it.
he
But
said, do we still live in Atlanta, Georgia? So he must be talking about your brother.
you talking about my brother? Yeah, he live in Atlanta, man. And Melly ain't a triple, man. Melly is a double. And even though he was there when we were kids, but Melly was still, he was still a little wet behind the ears,
Yeah.
riding skateboards and all that old type of shit. But my brother Melly ended up my younger brother Melly, is actually became a hand god. So the boy
Yeah.
real dangerous. Yeah, he real
Stan the
dangerous.
man say, don't get it twisted. Don't go down the wrong street in Dago. It's not all
Yeah,
ocean and sunshine.
he ain't lying. Don't go. Yeah, but he ain't lying. But what I wanted to say, I was saying something earlier, is that San Diego, you know what I mean, is that unlike Compton and LA, because we used to we were for about 5 years, when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, every summer we would go to Compton and visit my uncle and my grandfather, and at the time my brother was living up there with his mother. Can't think of that middle school or elementary school right down the street from Compton High School, but my brother stayed on that street at that particular time.
That's
And
George Washington. I mean,
you said
no, that's Lincoln
right,
Elementary.
right there. Is that the 105 freeway right there? Or the what freeway is that right there? What
No, that's the
freeway is that?
91.
The
91.
91. The 91. The freeway is right there. So that's George Washington.
No, Lincoln Elementary on Tamarind.
Yeah, oh, Lincoln on Tamara. So me and my brother Melly and my younger brother Fat Daddy, resting in peace, we got a 5-year history of coming up to Compton in the summertime and being there for those 2.5 months during the summer. And we would come back to San Diego and just tell them the stories of the shit that was going on up in Compton.
He
You
say
know,
God's favorite atheist say San Diego hoods are bigger than most LA hoods. Skyline
well,
Piru is 800 to 1,000 deep.
yeah, but that's what I was going to say. Is that San Diego hoods is not like LA hoods where you can go around the corner and it'll be a whole different hood, maybe with 50 or 60, dangerous motherfuckers, and that's what I was telling you, Melly, in our first interview, is where you like I was telling when I was showing you the demographics, and I know it tripped you out because I was like, the 5'9" Brim said from 35th to 41st and National, we control this whole demographics. And if you get caught up in this motherfucker, you in trouble. And it's the same thing in the hood, the same thing in the coast. Sky, like he said, I think Skyline is the biggest. I think Skyline is the biggest set in San Diego.
Okay.
Skyline and West Coast Crips. Those are the two biggest sets in San Diego. And
who is Fat Daddy?
Fat Daddy is my younger brother.
Oh, okay, yeah, you did say that. Sorry, he said Fat Daddy was his guy.
Yeah, Fat Daddy was dangerous. Fat Daddy was
Bottom of Cali say DB was his running partner.
DB, that was my brother. My brother's name was Derek Bennett. We called him DB, but the rest of the world knew him as Fat Daddy. And he was a dangerous youngster, man, until he had that stroke. Once he had that stroke, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that question too, Frederick. Now I don't think that Larry Hoover can do anything in regards to stopping what saying that he I think some of them cats would listen to him definitely, but could he stop it? I think it takes a lot more than just Larry Hoover to do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, but see, but the thing is, when you do your history on San Diego, you kind of be like, these brothers is insane. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's just the history of San Diego. All you guys got to go do is look into the archives, look up Channel 8 News, Channel 10 News. You know what I'm saying? And I think our history really stemmed from getting down with the police.
6'6". Where's 6'6" from? Rest in peace, Reggie Moore.
Little Reggie. When he died, I ran up on the scene. 6'6" is my homeboy. He also the president of our car club. 6'6" just retired from the city. He's doing well. But the thing about his ass, this nigga done had 2 or 3 daughters, and he older. He got now he got to start all over again with raising his daughters. You know what I mean? But 6'6" is doing all right, man. He retired from the city of San Diego. You know, him and his wife, they got a nice house where they live at. You know what I mean? They raising their daughters. 6'6" is a G, but 6'6" is like gangster. I can compare him to gangster to Fred Staves because he was a rider, but he ended up building them low riders.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frederick. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. So So 6'6" is doing all right. He just getting older. Yeah.
The how's the family ball game?
Everybody's good, man, but they down. They sick right now. I think little Mikey got the flu. You know,
Oh, you was sick first. Now you don't got you well. You got everybody sick ball game.
nah. Melly, we was in San Francisco 2 weeks ago on our usual family excursion, and Mikey and Misha went to her side, her family. They went to little dinners and all that old type of shit. And they brought that shit back here to the crib. You dig? And I'm
Okay.
yeah, I'm well right now. I took a COVID test this morning. It came up negative. But they got some. Mikey been isolated in his room. She down. I just been, I'm telling you, I'm downstairs cooking a pot of my famous chicken stew right now for both of them.
Uh-huh.
And I'm in the man cave watching the game and on with you right now. And
Okay,
this,
got you.
I'm trying to
Ali
figure out.
Sabaz. I
Huh?
got you, ball game. No, I was gonna say something. Ali Sabaz, what is the ratio of Crips to Bloods in San Diego?
Well, man, I think it's you know, because the Crip sets are so big. I think here in San Diego the Bloods outnumber the Crips maybe 60-40. But that wasn't San Diego's Blood City. Everybody know that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's only Blood City because it's more blood sets, not necessarily more bloods. You know what I'm saying?
Lock and
You know,
low. He says ball game, lock and low, Bones. He want to know is you from a car club?
yeah. I'm from Black Business Bureau Car Club. We started out as Ebony Car Club in the in 72, 70. I mean, 70, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, then 66, who we was talking about, him and the homeboy Fats being entrepreneurs that they start calling it the Black Business Bureau. You got a lot of homeboys they didn't like the bureau part because of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. You know what I mean? But we had to tell them, bureau mean Black Business Bureau, man. We entrepreneurs, and that's when we start becoming street pharmacists. So they
Okay,
named the car club after our hustling prowess. You know what I'm saying? And
got you.
my plaque is still in my car right now. I'm working on a 6'6" rag right now.
Okay, got it.
But the bureau plaque. I'm gonna put up. I'm just gonna hang that up in the garage, and I'm about to come with my own plaque.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said China Dog had the hardest 6'4" Impala, brown and
No,
gold.
no, he didn't. It was what? What did he say? It was what in gold?
Brown and gold, baby.
No. He didn't have the hardest 6'4". There's too many people out here that had cold. My homeboy Conrad had a cold 6'4". K Hog had a 6'4".
K
A
Hog.
six, yeah, yeah. Hog got a Hog got a Hog got an Air Amino right now that's off the motherfucking chain. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
there's you got too many home. You got Kevin Standard out of Lincoln Park. He got 4 Chevys. There's just too many people to name. Light Bright, he passed away. He from Skyline. They killed him about 20 years ago. You got like I said, you got a lot of people. One thing I can say about San Diego for the ratio of people. Melly, you attested to this, saying that San Diego came out to LA and put it down. You got a lot of brothers here in San Diego that got lowriders in their cars. I mean, got lowriders in their
Yeah.
garages.
Yeah, I was at a hop one time. I think it was 2001, right before I went to to the feds, right?
Right.
2001, matter of fact, the New Year's, matter of fact. And
Right.
the San Diego came up there. We was at Harvard Park, man. They came they came down there, man. They woke some fools out, man.
Yeah, and not only the brothers, the Mexicans too. You know what I mean? The Mexicans
Yeah,
over here
lock
in
and
San
load,
Diego.
man. My guy Bones, he got the 59 coming, he got the 58, he got a 64, he got all this coming, man. We're gonna pull them things out, man.
And for anybody out there, who looking to buy a Chevy, I got a 6'4" hard top if you want to buy it.
There it is there.
Because I was thinking about just riding that thing stock, and I
Is it
still
a
might.
project or is it already together? What's the status on it, ball game?
It's a project, but it's straight. It got the engine in it. It ain't got no rust. You know what I mean? The car intact, the car drive. You know what I mean? But like anything, you know what I mean? You got to put it in a little work. But if I don't get what I want for it, then I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna dress it up. And then after that, I'm gonna put it on the market for about 50 or 60 racks.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So, and that's one thing I do like to talk shit to Fred about is that nigga, we know how to put cars together out here too.
Uh-huh.
You know. So Gangster and Twin, they so funny, man. You know what I mean? So, them
Yeah,
brothers,
they always cracking jokes on one another.
but them brothers love low riding though. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
and
they
and
do.
I love low riding as well. I purchased my first low rider was a 6'5" Chevy. I love that car, man. I love the big
Okay.
round lights in the back. You know what I mean? I painted that motherfucker candy apple red with the original classics on it with some 14 with some premiums. It had black guts and it had only 8 batteries in the trunk. It had one pump to the front, one to the back with a master dump. You know what I mean? And I mean that car my car. I wish I had pictures of it, man. That car was clean. I was 15 years old, man. I got a lot of ass in that car, man.
Yeah, Gangster had 3 4s. He had the Santana, the Banana, and the Blue Foe. The
Well,
Hopper.
that that
Both the
that
Santana. I
Santana,
saw him tow up the yeah, I saw him tow up the Banana on the first of the year, man. That's when he won King of the Shaw.
that's when he won King of the Shaw. But the Santana,
And yeah, he won the trophy, King of Crenshaw.
but I got a lowrider magazine with that car in it, and then in September of 1997, 98, Lowrider magazine took they didn't do a profile on my Lincoln, on my baby Lincoln, but they took a picture of my baby Lincoln. They just took 2 or 3 shots of it from the side, from the back, and lifted up my trunk, and they put it in Lowrider magazine. I got that magazine in my storage, but they came
Oh,
and
that's cool.
profiled. Yeah, they came and profiled my baby Lincoln, my '81, and
Okay.
that car. Even though I had Chevys and all that, that baby Lincoln was my. I still got that baby Lincoln right now. People like Michael. You
Man,
still
it was somebody that came out of 8 Dago had a yellow Lincoln, man. That thing was hot.
I had it. My baby Lincoln was yellow, but it wasn't. I know what you. It was the 4-door Lincoln you talking about.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that was that was the homeboy of Foul. He called himself a Foul. He live in Las Vegas right now. That was his car, man. He from up out of Skyline. I think Little Africa Skyline Piru. That car was hot.
Man, that car was super hot. Him
Yeah,
and
that car.
JC at the four, they went at it, man. They was
Yeah.
hopping so hard they ran into each other. Boom,
Oh,
boom.
boom! Yeah. That car was hot. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they
So,
was hot, man.
and then Gangster was telling me like, boy, you ain't riding if you can't drive your car. And I just told him, I said, man, I'm still from the old school, man. We used to roll on premiums. We don't roll on on them balloons y'all riding right now, them radials. I'm not used to that shit. I won't even. Right now, I'm so glad that they restart making the premiums, man, because I won't even low. You know what I'm saying? I won't even low ride if you ain't got no. I don't give a fuck if I got to put my shit on the flat bed and take it where I got to take it, man. I ain't riding no radios. Fuck that.
Shiesty East, Southeast. Who made the song Shiesty Southeast?
I don't give me the line because I don't know. Yeah. I don't know who made that, but Shiesty is Shiesty, especially with the female.
Frog got something to say.
True history of the Crips and Bloods at war.
I love Frog, man. What Frog? You got to bring him on with me one day, man. Ain't nobody, man. I ain't seen Frog lately. What's going on with him?
I don't know what's going on with Frog, man.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like Frog. I wonder why, man. Frog keep it 100. He be having me.
Frog controversial, man. They don't like Frog because he's too controversial.
I don't care, man.
I don't care either. I just let him, whatever. He can say what he want to say.
But that's why I love him. He be having me. Frog be having him and BJ, him and Cappuccino, man.
Oh, yeah. Here. I'm going to talk to Cappuccino Saturday.
Oh, okay, well, man, bring me on that one, man, because Cappuccino be having me. I'm telling you, man, I love them brothers right there, man. Them brothers right there, some real riders, man.
Well, sure, ball game. We've been up in an hour and a half. I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate you dropping in, man. Dropping them jewels, man, in San Diego, man. 619 Boulevard.
Well, you know, Melly, as always, thank you from having.
Yeah, that thumbnail is a cat named Billy St. Julian out of Compton. That's who that thumbnail. He rest in peace. We talked about him. If you listen to the earlier when I was talking about him, you'll catch it.
Okay, well, my thing is thanks for because I was just sitting back, everybody down in the house, and I asked you just the other day, like you ain't been on, and I'm glad I copped this one. I'm glad I was able to answer the questions for the mailroom goons. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to Snoopy Badass. Much respect
for sure, man. We appreciate you. Bear, what's happening, Bear? I see you out there. What's going on?
Yeah, you know, much respect to everybody in the chat. Much respect to everybody who asked those questions about the 619. For those of you who ain't never been out here, come out here, get you a hotel room and the scenery. Because I will say, we got a beautiful city out here. But like somebody said in the chat, just be careful.
That's what Chula Vista mean, beautiful city. Yeah,
exactly. So we got a beautiful city, but one brother did warn y'all in the chat, be careful what street you roll down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Be real careful, you know, because like I say, you run into one of these dead ends and shit, can't get out of it. You know what I mean? But much respect, Melly. I love you, my brother.
Shout out to the ball game. Shout out to the ball game. 619 ball game. Where can they find you at, man? Social media.
Well, you know, I don't even right now nowhere because I'm still gonna do the platinum carpet on my Facebook page. I will do that, but right now I don't want nobody to find me. I'm chilling out until maybe February 2023. I'll let y'all know later on.
Okay, ball game. Shout out to the ball game. Take care, ball game. We get at you.
One love.
Shout out to the ball game. Shout out to the mailroom goons, the chat room, and everybody that participated. Boulevard, Ali Shabazz, Marlena Williams, Postmaster General, Snoopy Mac, what's good? Keith Jackson, man, Brian Williams, Michelle, always on deck. CB, what's good? Bear, Bottom of Cali, everybody that came on tonight, Rodney Scott, we appreciate you all. One love, man. But don't hesitate to hit that super chat button. Y'all won't hit the super chat button. Man, next time, though, man, you know the vibe. I am Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman. You know the vibe. Continue to watch, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the
perfect grind all the time, baby.
Yeah. Cali Finest, baby. Perfect grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. I leave bad man and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block to stack my shit, go, shit, go.
Just to hear something like that would happen on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, when you dealing with different hoods, what do you expect? Because it's the weekend, and I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm from Santana Block Crip, so it's gonna do what it do.
Shout out to that lady. Yeah. Marlena Williams, go ahead and lock the door because we are gone.